Hello people, so here I am standing in the threshold of the polytunnel here. So I've done a little bit of work on this today. I think it looks a little bit better. Thought I'd show you what I've been up to and just do a little bit of, one could call explaining the plans that I've got for this polytunnel. So we'll get the old camera and we'll have a look at what it looks like from like this. Now, you see it looks much tidier, at least I think it does, than what it did. But before I get going too much with the plans and what's happening, I'll show you this. Now I've got a scale insect issue. Now I'm not panicking about it, but it needs to be dealt with. I need to look at it, okay? So what I've got here, look, I'll just show you. See all that, look? Quite a nasty infestation I've got there. So what I'd like is some of the organic peeps out there. Would you be able to tell me what is a good organic spray for this? Now a few of them I've scraped off, okay, but as you can see it's quite an infestation. That's going to take a long time to do that. So if you know of any organic spray that works well or any other control techniques, please let me know. I've had a lot of success with that tree, as you know, with regards to heavy cropping for the last few years. It's not set so much fruit this year, but I'm not surprised because it's cropped very heavily the last 2 years. So, yeah, the old Dixie Red Peach tree, I think quite highly of that tree. So, you know, don't want it to come to a problem where the tree suffers. So let me know if there's anything you know I can do with that. I will appreciate it. I've looked online and I've found some, you know, what some people have stated is good organic spray, but anyone out there with first-hand experience of how to organically control scale insects, okay? So yeah, there we go. Let me know on that one and I would appreciate it. So right, so we'll look at the tunnel here. Now, as you know, I've put a few melons out. I put some out too early and the frost got them. I did state that could happen. It doesn't matter because I've got so many, as you know if you've seen my videos lately. So but I've got these two. These have got through it. I put these ones out a little bit later, and these are variety Eden's Gem. Okay, so they're looking okay. You know, not expected to be particularly large by now, but to give it to, you know, come back in 6 weeks or so, they'll be, you know, a good size. So they're doing quite well in that pot. The tea plant, there we go, looking good. Not too much to be said about that. The blood orange tree, not too much to be said about that either. That's looking very good. The pomegranate is looking excellent. I'm incredibly happy with that. And this here, the persimmon, otherwise known as Sharon fruit, is putting out some nice little buds there. So, of course, it's going to be a very long time before these two fruit, I certainly imagine anyway. But, yeah, they're looking good so far, so very happy. And the warm weather that we've had, particularly, you know, how warm it would have been in the polytunnel during the day the last few days has really brought the growth forward, so very happy there. So here you can see the autumn royal grapevine is looking really good, really happy, put out a lot of growth. I may or may not get some fruit off of it this year. I would just wait a little bit longer and I might see some little flowers, but I'll have to wait maybe a few days or week and a half before I see those, if they're going to be there. So that's looking pretty good, all growing up there like that, so I'm very happy. Now, I've never really grown much in grow bags, okay, and I would honestly say I'm not a massive fan of them. I'm always much more about, you know, at least at previous places, I've been very much about creating one's own compost using, you know, composting methods, compost bins, turning, etc. I've not done too much of that here, but I'm working towards that. And what I thought I'd do is to go down, I went to Pound Stretcher, okay, and I found these grow bags for £1.49 per bag, and I bought 10 of them. So I've got them in here, and I'm not going to speak too much about them because I want to do a separate video on the grow bags. But so there's your heads up, okay. I don't know how many litres they are, but they are, you know, I feel like the compost in them is nice and thick, you know, good stuff. But I'm going to be doing a separate video on these. But yeah, so there's grow bags at the moment at Pound Stretcher for £1.49 each. So I'm just going to cast the older camera over them like this, just so you can see. But as I stated, I'm not going to speak too much about these until I set some stuff in them, and then I'll do a separate video. So the grow bag idea, so what really what things made me go for that? Well, one thing I thought when I saw them was, you know, for those of you out there who aren't, you know, who are just starting on gardening or haven't got much space, haven't got much time, I was thinking, well, you could simply buy a grow bag and you could grow maybe a few tomatoes like this. I grew these from seed. You could even buy the plants. These are money maker. And you could just, apparently according to the instructions here, you can have 3 tomato plants in each one. You know, you can grow marrows, you can grow courgettes in these, you know, and I thought it was a good way of, you know, for people to get going with things. I thought, well, if I start showing people, you know, a bit about, you know, the potential of grow bags, you know, it could just be a good way to introduce more and more people into, you know, growing their own, those who don't necessarily know how to get into it. If the whole thing is daunting, well, there you go. If it's too daunting for you and you've got a tiny little bit of space, okay, maybe just on the front porch or something or whatever, or a friend's going to let you use a bit of ground and you want to get started, okay, buy a grow bag, buy 1 or 2 tomato plants, buy some canes and put them in. There you go. That could be a good way to sow the seed, almost literally in this case, to get yourself growing. So that's, you know, one thing I thought about. Another thing I thought about is I can also grow my melon seeds in them, you know. So yeah, I did think about putting them in the ground, but I decided, nah, let's try the grow bags. So yeah, it certainly had some great weather. 22 degrees, you know, about 71 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm very happy about that. Got the polytunnel nice and tidy. I've still kept my old composts here, you know, with my compost in. I'm going to probably be maybe setting some, you know, if I get some more exotic trees, maybe putting them in them or using them for whatever, growing potatoes. You know, I've got 2 more grow bags down there I want to use, but yeah, I just basically used the time to get myself organised. I've got this Miracle Grow compost here. I've got the Levington seed compost as well. Seeds are doing well inside. Got plenty on the go, plenty to put in these. And yeah, oh, I didn't show you this. Remember this grapevine that I did in there, that I took a cutting from? Well, that's leafing out beautifully as well. So we're going to have a grapevine each side. So, I mean, imagine what this is going to look like. You know, give it a few years, it's going to be amazing in here. So, if you like my work, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. See you next time.